welcome back, and welcome back to my big stupid head, and now I oops, move it over here. I'll move it over here. All right, and then we will go ahead and just like that. Can get at it. And now we're on to part number 7. In this game, it's important to check the enemy's line of sight to John Lennon is clear. Otherwise, the end of the game would be triggered, and then when there's actually a wall in the way, since the player character's position would change at any moment, this check needs to happen every frame. Let's continue your script. Add an update method below on trigger exit as follows. Alright, so let us do this thing, which is adding an update function, even though we've actually removed the update function beforehand. Let's re-add it back in. Can't get used to some of this like auto indenting stuff, because sometimes I get it wrong and I get an extra character in there. It only makes sense to check the line of sight when the player character is actually in range. Add the following if statement within the update method's braces. If M is player in range. Actually, I didn't capitalize mine. I don't know. I guess I should. Is player in range? Okay. If is player in range, then we do like so. So far, so good. Now we can actually, but how can we actually check the line of sight? In Unity, it's possible to check whether there are any colliders along the path of a line from a starting point. This line starting from the specific point is called a ray. Checking for colliders along this ray is called a ray cast. A ray needs an origin and direction. The origin is just the point of view, game object's position, but working out the direction is slightly more complicated. Yeah. In fact, I actually used this in my little demo that you saw a little while back. But I needed like an object to use it on. Actually, though, there is I don't know if it's camera, I forget what it is, but there is an actual command that I can do just a raycast without having to have a specific object to aim at, or something like that. I can't remember. Add the following line of code within the is in player in range if statement braces. Okay. Let us see here. Vector 3 direction equals player dot position minus transform dot position plus vector 3 dot up. You know, like the movie Up. I wonder if this will let me do that, because this is kind of how I like to do my, if it's too long a line for the, I know I could just stretch it out, but if it's too long a line for my window, I usually like to jump it onto another line. I see. Control S. Okay, this code creates a new vector 3 called direction. From vector math, we know that a vector from A to B is B minus A. This means the direction from the point of view game object to John Lemon is John Lemon's position minus the point of view game object's position. You may remember that John Lemon's position is on the ground between his feet. To make sure the observer can see John Lemon's center of mass, you're pointing the direction up 1 unit by adding a vector 3 dot up. Vector 3 dot up is short for 0, 1, 0. Now that you have the direction and can create an array, add the following line of code below the direction variable. Okay. Ray equals new ray transform dot position comma direction. What? Karmic crimes. Direction. Okay. This line includes the keyword you haven't seen met before, new. The keyword is used when creating a new instance of something by calling a special method called the types constructor. Calling a constructor uses the following syntax: the keyword new, the type, parenthesis, parameters for the constructor, in this case, the array's origin and direction. Now you have created an array, you can perform the raycast. There are lots of different raycast methods in Unity, but all of them have two things in common. They need to define the array along which the raycast happens, and restrictions on what sort of colliders they want to detect. The raycast method you will be using returns a bool, which is true when it has hit something and false when it hasn't hit anything. Because it returns a bool, it is very convenient to put the raycast method inside of the if statement. The code block of the if statement will only be executed if the raycast has hit something. Below where the array was created, and still within the previous if statement, you wrote add the following code. Okay, so we created a direction, we created an array. Now let's check the array. Physics dot raycast array just like that's kind of interesting. I wonder if it'll okay, add the following code. If you've defined an array and you're not restricting the colliders that can be detected by the raycast, restrictions on colliders tend to work more like filters than identifying single colliders. We need information about exactly what is hit by the raycast so that you can check whether it is a player character. But there's a problem. The way you get information from a method is with its return. And this raycast only returns a bool. However, luckily there's a very similar raycast method which uses an out parameter. Out parameters work like normal parameters, except they have a keyword out written before them. These parameters have their values altered or set by their method, so when they can be used by whatever calls it. The out parameter has a type called raycast hit, and the raycast method sets its data to information about whatever the raycast hit. Between the line creating the array and the raycast if statement, add the following code. Raycast hit. Okay, let's do that. A raycast hit. Raycast hit. Raycast hit. Just like so. This line defines the raycast variable. Next, you need to change the raycast method in order to make use of this variable. Change the if statement with the raycast method to the following. If physics.raycast, okay, so I already used it. Physics.raycast out raycast hit. Okay. Then brackets. This is a different raycast method which works very similarly but uses the out parameter to return information. I thought the name was overloaded function. In other words, the same function, but with the new parameters. Okay. The script can now identify that the player's character is in range to perform a raycast and know whether it has been hit. Next, it needs to check what has been hit. Within the raycast if statement, add the following code. Another if. How interesting. If raycast hit dot collider dot transform is equal to player, then what? Then boom. Now you need to end the game. To do this, you're going to need a reference to the game ending class. Between the player and M is player in range. Variable decoration towards the top of the script at the following code. Public game ending. There we go. Game ending is a class just like game object and transform. Each has different methods and variables, but referencing them works exactly the same. Neat. Exactly the same. Okay. And it looks like we're almost nearly done with our video this time. Your observer script is nearly finished. Let's review what you have so far. Transform, give ending, its player in range, collider, other transform, player, and player's rating true, false. If on update, if player is in range, wait, void. If M player is in range, okay, is player in range, direction, vector 3 direction equals all this gobbledygook, raycast hit, okay, ray transform, okay, if physics dot raycast ray out raycast hit, if raycast collider transform is equal to player physics dot raycast ray out raycast hit, if raycast collider dot transform is equal to player. Oh, what we do? At the moment, the game ending class doesn't have anything to call for when the player character has been caught by an enemy. You need to add a little more functionality to it. Save the observer script and open your game ending script for editing. You might be able to access the game ending script directly from your code editor, or you may need to return the Unity editor to open it the usual way. And Control S. Actually, game ending is over here. Let's click cancel on that because that was a mistake. Let's mark this as it's finished, complete. Revise your game ending script. Okay. We will do that in the next video. So, thank you for watching, and catch me in the next video and we'll do a little bit more.